Watan TV present the news with the help of Lot Binder, Harjeet Sandhu, Uday Nayak, Bernadette Young, Sunil Kalia. Russian forces continue their attack in southern Ukraine, pushing toward Odessa, Ukraine's third largest city. Odessa has long enjoyed close cultural and historic ties with Russia, and many residents there speak Russian. Millions of innocent lives are suffering from Russia's invasion of Ukraine, including children. About 109 children have reportedly been killed so far in Russia's deadly invasion. But that number only represents fatalities confirmed by Ukrainian officials, with the true death toll likely far higher. Meanwhile, those who have managed to flee war are still struggling. Despite being seen as Ukraine's safe haven, fears are rising in Lviv after the city's Danilo-Halitsky International Airport was hit with Russian missiles. Odessa is bracing for battle as Russian forces close in on the pivotal coastal city. Jeff Semple looks at how ordinary Ukrainian citizens are learning to take up arms, and how the war is turning the Russian-speaking Ukrainians against Russian President Vladimir Putin. Search and rescue efforts also continue in Mariupol, where Russian forces bombed a theater sheltering hundreds of civilians. U.S. President Joe Biden has spoken with his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping about the war in Ukraine, amid worries Beijing could potentially support Moscow. Heather Yorex West explains China's official stance on the invasion, and the worries about it also benefiting from the conflict. And millions of innocent lives are suffering from Russia's invasion of Ukraine, including children. The hardships the youngest Ukrainian refugees face, and how their resilience is also inspiring hope. Russia renewed allegations that the U.S. is funding bioweapons labs in Ukraine at the United Nations Security Council on Friday.
As I previously informed the Council, the relevant instrument of international law is the 1972 Biological Weapons Convention, or BWC, which effectively prohibits the development, production, acquisition, transfer, stockpiling, and use of biological and toxin weapons.
We've already said that during Russia's special military operation in Ukraine, information was discovered regarding the implementation of the Ukrainian authorities with the support and the direct supervision of the U.S. Ministry of Defense of dangerous projects as part of their military and biological program.
Russian claims, and we listen to the statement, remain unverified, unsubstantiated, uncorroborated, and not independently verified.
As I said 1 week ago, Ukraine does not have a biological weapons program. There are no Ukrainian biological weapons laboratories, not near Russia's border, not anywhere.
To advance global health, benefiting mankind. President, I urge the Russian Federation to cease its campaigns of disinformation and attempts to distract from what is really happening because of its war in Ukraine.
This meeting is based on no established fact. Ukraine has no biological weapons programs. It respects its obligations under the Biological Weapons Convention.
Today, however, we've had a rehash of amateurish disinformation, which we discussed and debunked last Friday. It was nonsense then, and it is nonsense now.
We maintain that the possession or proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, including chemical and biological weapons, neither assures international peace nor national security. We must work collectively to ensure the elimination of all such weapons.
Brazil believes that accusations of such gravity must be thoroughly substantiated by solid evidence, which must be presented to and confirmed by an independent and impartial authority, as foreseen in Article 6 of the Biological Weapons Convention.
We urge state parties to the Convention on the Prohibition of the Development, Production and Stockpiling of Biological Weapons to seize the opportunity of the 9th Review Conference later this year to strengthen the biological weapons regime.
We have trouble understanding the rationale behind the last minute's call to have further discussions today. We find it unacceptable that Russia continues to repeat its unsupported claims that Ukraine is preparing to use biological weapons.
My country, as a member state to the United Nations Convention on the Prohibition of Biological Weapons, reaffirms its commitment to eradicating the use of biological weapons and calls on the belligerents to respect international law in this regard.
I thank the representative of Gabon for his statement. I give the floor to the representative of India.
Thank you, Mr. President. Our deepest condolences to the family of Ambassador Jim Kelly and members of the Irish mission. I thank USG Nakamitsu for her briefing. We have carefully noted the points made by USG regarding biological activities relating to Ukraine. India attaches high importance to the Biological and Toxin Weapons Convention as a key global and non-discriminatory disarmament convention prohibiting an entire category of weapons of mass destruction. It is important to ensure full and effective implementation of the BTWC in letter and spirit. We also believe that any matter relating to obligations under the convention should be addressed as per the provisions of the convention and through consultations and cooperation between the parties concerned. As outlined yesterday, India remains deeply concerned at the progressively deteriorating situation in Ukraine. We welcome the latest round of diplomatic talks between the Russian Federation and Ukraine. We believe that immediate cessation of hostilities and diligently pursuing the path of dialogue and diplomacy is the only way forward. It is important to undertake this engagement, keeping in mind the need to respect the principles of the UN Charter, international law, sovereignty and territorial integrity of states. I thank you, Mr. President.
China stands for the complete prohibition and thorough destruction of all weapons of mass destruction, including biological and chemical weapons. China resolutely opposes the development, possession, or use of biological and chemical weapons by any country under any circumstances.
As we mentioned at a previous meeting, Mexico believes that the Convention on the Prohibition of the Development, Production and Stockpiling of Bacteriological and Toxin Weapons is the fundamental instrument of the multilateral disarmament regime to address these matters.
Those who are responsible for the use of these weapons must be held accountable as they constitute a violation of international law. The prohibition of these weapons, including through the Convention on the Prohibition of Biological Weapons, is one of the most important achievements of the international community.
Propaganda, disinformation, amateurism, unbased imagination, false flag operations. That's what we've heard today. Some statements have practically, literally repeated their statements from the 11th of March. If you haven't heard anything new in our statement today, it's because you weren't listening to us. We provided not fiction, not something found in the dark web, but we provided new material and documents which we disseminated. These documents have signatures. These documents were prepared on the basis of cooperation between the Ukraine and the US,
claiming it has evidence of such facilities. Further, Russia accused the US of running a biological weapons program about which it was keeping Ukraine in the dark. It also claimed on Friday that Ukrainian nationalists had used chemical agents to carry out a provocation in some regions of the country in order to accuse Russia of carrying out the attacks. Alarming numbers from Statistics Canada show the number of hate crimes reported to police soared during the first year of the pandemic.
The model minority, but yet we have this illusion of belonging, but really at the end we are still very othered.
I think that the pandemic has exacerbated the whole phenomenon.
Of you Chinese people.
Not surprising. Hate crimes have been on the rise for years. The actual rate of hate crimes in Canada is far higher, but the vast majority of them don't get reported to police.
The anti-Asian hate continues because systemic racism continues. So that's why it's important for us to continue speaking out.
People across India marked Holi, the Hindu festival of colors, on Friday, during which they smeared each other with colored powder, danced, and sang across the country. The festivities were grand in most places as COVID-19 cases significantly dipped, with less than 30,000 active cases throughout the country of 1.4 billion. Holi heralds the beginning of spring and is a celebration of the triumph of good over evil.
सब छोटे बड़े सब तरह के लोग हर परिवार के लोग और हर जात के लोग धर्म के लोग बिना भेदभाव बोल करके होली खेलते हैं रंग खेलते हैं नहीं बेटा
Yeah, I like the festivals in India.
Thousands of people and thousands of colors. Come with us on an adventure to the most colorful event in New Zealand as we capture its amazing colorfulness, amazing people, and its great energy.
It's an early start on a summer's morning and things are slowly heating up for a big day ahead. In India, today is a day to celebrate the harvests of the year, the coming of spring and the victory of good over evil. We're at the Krishna temple this morning in Kumyu in West Auckland, where in a few hours we're going to see thousands of people gathering here to celebrate the festival of colour, Holi.
Welcome. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Have fun. Well, the intention is just to give people some idea that there's more behind the Hare Krishnas than just chanting on the street, that actually every day of our life is a festival. We have such a good life, and if you have good, or if you have love, you want to give it. So this is an opportunity to give to the community. It's a free event.
होली का मतलब है basically it's a win of good over evil. So this festival we are aiming for the young generations as well, because our young generations, they are looking for something excitement in their life. They want to enjoy, you know. So whenever the word enjoyment comes in, that's where the outer world starts to exploit our young people, saying that okay, here's the drugs, you enjoy this way, here's the alcohol, you drink this way. But we says no, you don't need to do that. We have got a better way to enjoy life.
Reasons why Holi is supposed to be significant for very many people. But no matter what your chosen reason is, the language of colour and the language of togetherness is something that everyone can relate to.
Holi is all about joy and celebration and just be happy.
There's Russians, and there's Kiwis, and there's Indians, and there's Chinese, and there's Buddhists, Christians, Hare Krishnas, but once they're covered and die, then that whole bodily concept just disappears.
There's so many people coming together to celebrate this one thing, and it's just great. Everyone's getting into it.
Gulal, the powder colour used in Holi, is said to have traditionally been made from flowers of the flame of the forest tree. These days, it's a convenient mix of corn flour and food colouring. While coloured corn flour won't exactly fill your tummy, there's plenty going on in the kitchen to feed festival goers. After all, no festival is complete without a feast.
आज हम लोग 10,000 लोग के लिए भोजन बना रहे जो प्रसादम रहेगा. Today we doing pakoda, halwa, paneer curry. Whatever we cook, we offer to Krishna, Radha Krishna, and that it becomes a prasadam. Then we serve to the public without onion and garlic.
Well, we just live over the fence, so we're just new into the community. I think opening this up gets everyone into the facility to have a look and to see what's actually happening here, right on our back doorstep. We will definitely be back next year, won't we? Yeah, lots of fun.
जो सत्य है, जो ट्रुथ है, जो अच्छाई है, उसका विजय होता है पाप से, खराब काम से. For me personally, Holi is basically definitely getting all the people together and give them God, love, peace.
हेलो गाइस, हम अभी जो है वो होली ग्राउंड में खड़े हुए हैं और हैप्पी होली एवरीवन. बहुत रश है, अभी भी लोग आ रहे हैं और आरती जो है वो थोड़ी देर में स्टार्ट होने वाली है. एंड होप यू एंजॉय वाचिंग ऑल दिस एंड हैप्पी होली एवरीवन.
ओम जय जगदीश हरे. दया में किस विदा मिलूं, दया में तुमको मैं कोमती. ओम जय जगदीश हरे. प्रभु रक्षक मेरे अपने हाथ बढ़ाओ, अपने शरण लगाओ. ओम जय जगदीश हरे. जय श्याम कृष्ण सुंदर श्याम. जय बोलो जय सीताराम. बोलो जय रघुनंदन, जय घनश्याम. बोलो जय रघुनंदन, जय घनश्याम. कृष्ण मुरारी राधे श्याम. बोलो रघुपति राघव राजा राम.
month of March begins and winter comes to end, just arriving spring season takes new excitement with itself. The excitement of first big and important festival of the year, the festival of colors, Holi. It is mainly the festival of India, but Holi knows no bars and Holi knows no boundaries too. That's why it is celebrated across the world with same enthusiasm like India. So here in this video, you will surprised to know that how Holi is celebrated around the globe. So let's start our special exciting journey. Number 1, United States of America. There is no shortage of Holi fans in the US owing to the presence of large Indian population. People wear white colored clothes to participate in a 5-kilometer long run known as Color Run to have holy colors thrown at them. Religious groups in Utah organize a festival on a big scale to provide a platform to the young to have fun but in an untainted way. People from all walks of life are welcome to play with colors to the tunes of music. Number 2, Nepal. India's friendly neighbor has Hindus forming majority of its population. So, having fondness for Holi comes very naturally to them. In Kathmandu, the streets of Tamil and Darbar Square hold the best celebrations. Children and adults, everyone dedicatedly play Holi to their heart's content. Number 3, United Kingdom. Since the presence of Indians in England is widespread, Holi celebrations are ought to be big. London, Birmingham, Manchester and several other cities have people hitting the Holi party grounds armed with dry colors, spray cans and other paraphernalia, and here especially many universities in UK also host Holi celebration parties. Number 4, Dubai. Even the Dubai folks do not lag behind when it comes to having their share of the festival. Places like Wonderland Park and Al Garhoud in Dubai witness about thousands of visitors getting drenched in our myriad colors, whether they are Hindus or Muslims. Number 5, Spain. Party lovers in Madrid to play Holi, albeit during the monsoons, loads of gulal, water guns, dances, etc. add festive cheer to the celebrations. Holi parties see the presence of a score of attendees. Number 6, South Africa. Even in South Africa, there is a huge chunk of Gujaratis and Tamilians. Now there is 1.5 million Indian population in South Africa. Henceforth, Holi is celebrated with much enthusiasm and fervor in parts of South Africa. Number 7, Mauritius. Being a Hindu country, Mauritius celebrates pretty much all the festivals with the utmost dedication as in India. Here people celebrate the festival with fun, frolic and laughter. At this time, the holy country is beautified with blooming flowers and green happy fields. Number 8, Holi in Melbourne, Australia. Several events are organized all over in Australia to celebrate Holi, but the Melbourne Holi Festival is one of the most authentic and fun celebrations in the country. There is an alcohol-free, family-friendly festival with non-stop music and multicultural performances. The event also includes Bollywood dancing, Indian drumming performances, kids activities, food vendors and henna tattoo stalls. Number 9, Holi in Singapore. There are many Indian and non-Indian residents of Singapore who love to take part in the Holi celebration here. Rang Barse is the most famous Holi event in the Singapore and people from all over the country come to enjoy the festivities by dancing to party songs played by the DJ and by throwing colored powder at each other. Number 10, Holi in Toronto, Canada. Holi Dhamaka is the biggest Holi celebration in Toronto, located at the Preet Palace Banquet. The event features Bollywood dances, a color party and delicious food that will make the experience truly unforgettable.
नंद गांव के ग्वाल है, कान्हा का सवाल है, बच के रहना बरसाने की हुरियारिनो, आए नंद नगरी के ग्वाल है, पिटेंगे भी नहीं और छोड़ेंगे भी नहीं, पर साची बोलूं, होरी का आनंद तेरी लाठी में ही कहीं, तेरी लाठी में ही कहीं।
सेलिब्रेशन और ये सारे लोग यहाँ पर बरसाने की होली देखने आए हैं, मनाने आए हैं।
आज न छोड़ेंगे बस हम जोली, खेलेंगे हम होली, खेलेंगे हम होली।
ऐसी होली तो है खिलाऊं, दूध छठी को याद दिलाऊं, सुन ले सावरे होली खेले तो अयो।
लठमार होली में लट्ठे और डंडे की चोट लग सकती है, पर फिर भी बरसाने आकर बरसाने की लड़कियों के साथ होली पर ठिठोली करना कान्हा की नगरी यानी कि नंदगांव के ग्वालों की आदत बन चुकी है। पर मजे की बात तो ये है कि ये लट्ठे और डंडे की चोट इन लड़कों को लगती ही नहीं। फागुन मास की शुक्ल पक्ष की नवमी को नंदगांव के पुरुष रंग भरकर राधा रानी के जन्म स्थान बरसाने आते हैं और वहां की महिलाओं के साथ होली खेलते हैं, जहां उनका स्वागत लड़कियां और औरतें लट्ठे डंडे के साथ तैयार होके करती हैं।
मथुरा नगरी के ग्वालों, आओ लठमार होली खेलने, हम भी तैयार हैं।
होली के अगले दिन यानी कि शुक्ल पक्ष की दशमी के दिन बरसाने के पुरुष नंदगांव यानी कि कान्हा की नगरी जाते हैं और फिर वो लोग भी अबीर गुलाल मिठाई ठुकाई के साथ नंदगांव की लड़कियों और औरतों के साथ होली खेलते हैं।
ये सारी तैयार है लठमार होली खेलने के लिए और कह रही है नंद के ग्वाल आओ, आपका स्वागत करते हैं लठ से, बोलो राधा रानी की जय।
अब समझ में आया बरसाने की होली आखिर वर्ल्ड फेमस होली क्यों है, क्योंकि ये कॉम्बिनेशन है पिटाई, कुटाई, मिठाई। हैप्पी होली।